Dan Campbell, we're going into this NFL draft, and the Saints don't have a first-round pick, obviously, but have a second round and have some late picks. But your thoughts on the whole draft process, because you've been a head coach in this league. Now you are assistant head coach, tight ends coach for the Saints, and is the process a little bit different as an assistant as opposed to the head coach?
Well, I mean, certainly it is. Everything is. It's about Sean's vision to start off with, because he is the head coach and he has his idea, the way he wants it to look. And from there, it's kind of our jobs, our responsibility as coaches, scouts, personnel department, to help him with his vision and how we see it, but also to give him the input, honest input on what we think about each and every player. And then it's his job to decide that's the way we go or we don't go.
When we're talking about tight ends and coming into the offseason, we thought the Saints might have a need there with Benjamin Watson retiring and such, and yet you're able to pick up Jared Cook. What does he add to the position group?
Yeah, listen, Jared brings an element to the pass game that we hadn't quite had. And look, you want to double Mike Thomas, you want to try to double Kamara underneath. We need somebody that really is hurting these people, these defenses, if that's the route they want to go. And we feel like Jared, he had a very productive year at Oakland last year. He's had a productive career in the pass game. And this guy can still stretch the middle of the field. He can run, he's big, he's long, he plays big, and not only that, when he gets the ball in his hands, he's a dangerous runner too. So we just feel like this is going to give us a different element, an element that we desperately need, and it gives Drew another weapon.
Yeah. When you're in pursuit of a player like that, do you salivate a little bit, being yourself, or do you say, I'm going to maintain my composure here, but this is really a guy I'd like to have on this roster?
Well, listen, I say that. I do try to, hey, you just hold back, and you don't show your cards, but I'm not going to lie to you, especially when you get around these guys. I got around Jared, and I couldn't help myself. First of all, he's pretty polarizing. When you sit down and talk with the guy, he's pretty mesmerizing, man. He's very confident, but not cocky. There's just something about him that draws you in. And I tell you what, I love being around the guy, and I couldn't help it, man. So I was full recruiting, you know what I mean? I was 100% recruiting.
Now, when you go into this draft, this is going to be a difficult roster for guys to get on and get snaps. Probably when you're drafted by this team, it might look more like playing some special teams more than anything. But do you see that being, how critical is that contribution special teams wise from rookie players?
It's interesting that you bring that up, because you're dead on about that. We're in a little different place than some teams are because of some of the depth we have in different positions, the veteran players that we have in areas that are still producing at a high level. And so it's not the easiest thing to come in and think you're going to make our team. And if Sean has said anything or shown anything from this point, it's that, man, you got to come in and earn the right to get your spot or to earn a spot on this team or on the roster. And so absolutely, the first place any young guy's got to come in and produce is got to be special teams. That's the big one, man. And particularly, we talk about tight ends. If you get a tight end, he better be able to help you in special teams.
Yeah, and you've had several of those. How critical is it for those guys to be able to do both? Because, as you mentioned, you might not be able to get snaps otherwise.
Absolutely. Look, you have to justify, you only get 46 during the game. You got a 53-man roster, but you only get to use 46 of those. So that guy better be getting some snaps. And we don't go in the game and say, all right, well, let's activate this guy, and who knows if he plays or not. No, we're going to find a way to get these guys reps, all right? Because if he's going, you're going to use him, and he's got to be able to help you. So that's where it comes down to, especially the back end of that roster. It's about how many snaps can this guy play, all right? Can he help us in the core? Can he help us on punt return or punt or kickoff return? It honestly comes down to that just about every game. We have to come down to that.
All right, that's Dan Campbell. Looks like he can still go. I don't know if his knees will hold up, but he looks like he can still go. But good luck in this draft.
Hey, I appreciate it.